Hey, what's up, everybody? Emerald Gamer here with an extremely surprise gamer speak. It's only been a few days since the last sort of bit of news for Soulcalibur 6. By the way, this gamer speak's on Soulcalibur 6, if I didn't already say that, even though it's only been like 20 seconds, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we're back and we already have more news. And even though it's kind of fresh, it's been like a day or so. I was a little late on the ball because they just randomly, well, not randomly, there was like an event going on yesterday and they dropped it on the night of. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to do anything with it until just now, so here we are, getting it uploaded as soon as possible. Sorry it's a little later, but can't always be on time, on perfect all the time, if only. That's the goal anyway. Alright, but anyway, so they've been changing up the formula a lot lately. And I noticed that they went back to it for once. They did the whole, like, perhaps it was fate, Tale of Souls, it soars, Tale of Two Cities, Tale of Two Titties, here we go. And then they announced, like, the villain that was in, like, the story trailer with the Tira and character creation sort of thing that they had going on, like the side story or whatever. And it's Leader of Humanity, Azwel. I really like that name. Sounds kind of familiar, sounds like Algol, which I'll get to this in a moment, but it's a little upsetting knowing that Algol's probably not going to be in the base roster, even though he's been in the base roster since the fourth one, since his like game that he's been like the main villain of or whatever, and then he just kind of became a whatever throw-in character for 5 as an unlockable, which was pretty cool. But this character, but you gotta keep in mind the story placement of this character is in between 1 and 2, I think, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. I could be horribly dumb and wrong right now, but I'm pretty sure it's in between 1 and 2. It's like a weird prequel sequel placement here. They're pulling a Street Fighter 3 where it's like the end, but not the end because it's the third game. I don't know. Lore's weird, but here we are with Azwel. His weapon name is Palindrome, which is actually really cool. I really like how he fights and everything. Although his fighting style says fucking practical application of martial philosophy and theory. So he's gonna talk you to death, and he kind of does, to be honest, throughout the trailer. By the way, if you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it after this video. I'm going to keep this one a little bit short because the last one was literally 25 minutes long, and I feel like not a lot of people wanted to sit through all that, which I completely understand because, whoa, that's a lot of me talking about Soulcalibur that I could probably save for other videos. But anyway, here we go. Moving on. Going off Azwel. See ya. It starts off with his intro, and he like sends out all these weapons. In the last video that we did on this, I kind of mentioned that he has like that eye pendant that sort of reminds me of like Charade from Soulcalibur 2 or whatever, who kind of just used like soul edge weapons. And that was pretty neat, honestly. But judging from what this is and what he does in the trailer, he only uses these weapons, and that's pretty cool. It's like his little arsenal that he has, which it's a very Algol kind of vibe going on, especially when he like makes them like dissipate. He's just got like that like weird loosey goosey sort of floating in the air kind of pose with the two colors, very Algol like. And even his first combo was like very Algol like. He had like a quick stab with his hands, and then he kind of did a spin and sort of knocked him away, and then shot like the spear at him. It's pretty cool. I gotta say, I'm probably gonna compare him to Algol a lot when playing it. I mean, just from seeing him, I could already see a lot of things that were like super similar, but not quite. But other than that, moving on, we got some nice little combos with the shield. He has such nice like sound design. It sounds weird to say because most characters usually just all have the same stuff, but his sound design is really amazing. I don't know, it makes like that weird like a weird like almost like techno sort of just boom, like every time he like uses a weapon, specifically the shield, I feel like. But I don't know, it just sounds nice. He like launches it at Siegfried and knocks him on his ass, and then he sends like the 4 other weapons and like stabs them into you. And that was a basic grab from what I could tell. At least that's what it looked like anyway. And then here's one of him basically like throwing Keelik up in the air. And then I couldn't quite get some of the screenshots right for most of the footage, for most of the trailer, because most of it moved so fast it was ridiculous. Sometimes I had to like slow the video down to get some at least halfway decent quality screenshots, because he just did not sit still like halfway, almost like over half of the video, so it was hard. But he hits Keelik up and then slams him down with the axe. Wasn't really anything too special about that. But the next thing that he does looks like an extended grab, almost, something. It's hard to tell. This guy is like the epitome of boss characters. Like, I remember when Azwel came out and you could play him as a character, it was like fucking wild. Because you were like ridiculously, it seemed like you were ridiculously overpowered. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't all that good in 4. I could be wrong though, I'm not sure. But oh my lord, he's got some fucking special looking moves. But here's this one where he just pushes you on one of his blades as he like teleports it in front of you. So you turn around, it like stabs into you, and it carries you into the air. And then he like just magically jumps off like the little like blue shield effect thing, making that nice little sound every time he steps on one. And then he, like, while he's in the air, like, takes 2 of, like, the heavy weapons and, like, slams them down into you. And you go flying to the ground. And it's actually, like, really, like, at a diagonal angle. It's really nice to look at. And it was super cinematic. And honestly, like, I'm probably not going to play this character too much. But mostly because, like, whatever, he seems to just be, like, the generic villain. Which, I mean, in actuality, we've never really had for Soulcalibur. Literally every villain that we've had for like the arcade mode or the story modes have all been like 5. It was technically Nightmare, who doesn't really talk that much, and then we had like Azwel, who's just sort of like a mean dude, and then Abyss, and Inferno didn't really talk at all. So there we go. There you have it. But he's got some more slammies, he's got some more stuff to do. And then there's one where he like literally launches you up in the air, like almost magically, I feel like. But it's like, or at least that's what it looks like on the screenshot. But he like uses the axe and it like spins you up in the air, and then he grabs you and does like a goddamn meditating wrestling suplex. I don't know what to call it. It's it's really fucking weird. I was utterly confused. It even strikes on the ground. Like no part of any of them actually hit the ground from what you can see here, and from what I could tell in general. It's just that like Siegfried's sword stabs into the ground, and he just like he slams down, and I guess the momentum just causes this big like noise out of nowhere, and he's just like it's just utterly destructive looking. I don't know why. All he's doing is just doing this weird fucking grab. And then they did the Clash, which the Clash was interesting because they didn't really truly do like a super good, like they didn't do like the super combo that they normally do, which I found very strange. I feel like they might have done it out of order accidentally. Like I feel like maybe that like special grab where he slams you down or whatever, it might be like part of the super combo. It might be like a sort of like a grab in a way. But the Clash just had like what looked to be like a regular old combo, really, honestly. But what was really, really unique about it is what you can see in this picture is he's not actually there. And that's pretty cool because he just kind of like, he says something and he like moves up and then he like basically like phases. Like he phases out and just becomes like disappears and then returns back. And he slices completely through where he is. So it's either the camera angle's fixed to where he phases out and he does like a Cervantes jump where he phases out from the ground and appears in the sky and lands, or something, but that seems about what he does. And then he uses the super, which he's got some Doctor Strange looking shit going on over here, which I believe is like Keelik's, almost looks like Keelik's staff that's just kind of like accidentally in the frame, but he launches it, says some weird crazy shit. It is Keelik's staff actually, now I think about it, but launches him into the air, and then as he's in the air, like the camera pans and like zooms sort of a bit to where it's like his backwards perspective while he does like all these fucking weapons that show up made out of energy, and they just sort of fucking surround Keelik like fucking. They're literally just like lasers. Honestly, they don't even look magical. It just looks like lasers, and they just like combine into like a purple explosion. So he meets his quota for explosions, but this man is absolutely crazy. he still sounds like someone that I've heard from somewhere or from something, but I still cannot for the life of me put my fucking finger on it. But he meets his quota for the explosion, which is a really nice super, to be honest. I really like that kind of stuff. It just doesn't last very long, and it's kind of upsetting. But then again, a lot of them don't, but whatever. Then he does his outro with all the swords, and he says some more crazy shit, and then it splashes Soulcalibur 6 with his weird-ass creepy eyes. Which, you know what? Fuck it. We're making that the thing now. That's what we're gonna have it now for the thumbnail. That's what it is. It's creepy ass eyes. And then it does a little bit of story bits where it zooms in on Soul Edge like it has before. And then we get this that has this fucking weird. He has a second form very clearly, that like much like all the other villains in Soulcalibur games, except for Algol, Rip Algol. They're always like, all the arcade people are like, challenge me, and then they turn into this, basically. They turn into something else. This time it's red and blue boy with purple in the middle. It looks really nice aesthetically, like the crystal sort of effect on it. And he's like constantly floating now, and that's pretty cool. And all they really do is they show off his super, I guess. And it's essentially the same thing as his regular super, but he claps his hands together, and it sort of instead of just like all of them like as lasers sort of just pinpointing you while you're in the air, they sort of just like, it's like that same sort of energy, but it has like an aura. It has like a more of like a almost like a metallic sort of color because the screen goes dark or whatever, and it vortexes in as energy. And it hits you, and there's just literally an explosion of light so fucking powerful that I physically couldn't, like, it was so fucking like instant that I couldn't physically like get a screenshot that wasn't blurred to hell. So if that shows you how intense the explosion is, I guess on the Soulcalibur 6 explosion super scale, he gets an 11 out of 10. It literally just blurs the camera, and you can't even get a solid like picture of it really. But other than that, it ended, and it did all the packages that you can get and everything and whatnot. Which, by the way, if you're still needing that pre-order, I absolutely stress, please get the deluxe version. The deluxe edition is like the best way to do it if you're trying to get the DLCs and shit. Which also Bandai kind of clarified, because they made it very vague, that Tira is not going to be a pre-order bonus. She's going to be a DLC that's not part of the season pass technically. So, you could technically buy the game and buy her separately. Like, I don't think she's part of the season pass. At least I'm pretty sure that's what Bandai said. I'm not 100% positive. I saw a tweet the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's been clarified. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about Mr. Man, Mr. Evil Mandarin, the fucking Azrael. Not Azrael, fucking whatever his name is. I already forgot, I'm dumb. Azwel. I had to think for a moment. But, yeah, that's really all I got to say. He's a really neat looking character, very Algol-esque. And he might be really fun to play, or he might be really broken. Either way, I feel like it'll be nice to have him on. We need more original characters, I feel like. Including, like, DLCs and stuff. But I feel like we need to have at least another original character added to the game. But other than that, that's it. Y'all, I'm gonna do the ending spiel since it's, wow, this is a very short video compared to the last one. Holy shit! Assuming I can talk correctly in time. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe if you're new, and give it a like if you're not, or if you are new. I don't know. Do what you want. And give me your thoughts on Azwel in the comments as we continue to get more and more news. The game comes out in less than 2 months now. It's been less than 2 months for like a week now almost. But I mean, hell, any kind of news I'll take. If they're gonna keep pumping out news this fast, I am A-okay with it, definitely. But other than that, Twitch, Twitter, it's in the description, people. We streamed once pretty recently. We're gonna stream again here pretty recently as well. But I'll announce that here in a little bit, and it won't be like 3 or 4 months until the next one, I promise. So feel free to follow us on all those things. And I've been Emerald Gamer. This has been another Gamer Speak on Soulcalibur 6. And I will see you guys in the next video. That's probably going to be gameplay. I don't know. We've done a lot of Gamer Speaks lately. Goodbye.